co-host first things first. Let's bring him on. All right. You heard my spiel, perhaps, on the Hub-Arkish MVP. I don't know why one voter speaks for 50. This thing's always been wildly subjective. Your takeaway on the outrage that somebody would not vote MVP Aaron Rodgers because he's, quote, a jerk to the writer.
Yeah, well, first off, a little shout out because, and by the way, I'm hearing myself in my ears, so if they can fix that, but I can power through it in the meantime. Colin, this interview was done. It's kind of part of your coaching tree. It was on the Danny Parkins show in Chicago, and Danny's part of my coaching tree, and I'm part of your coaching tree. So, like, you're Mike Holmgren, I'm Andy Reid, and I guess Danny is Eric Bieniemy. I know he's a guy you have a lot of affection for.
Yes.
But here's what I would say. We use off-the-field stuff all the time when it comes to evaluating close MVP races. Like, let's say Rodgers and Brady were very, very close. Would we not? I don't think it is. I think Rodgers has run away with it. I think Rodgers would have my vote. But would we not say, Brady gets the team together in the offseason. Brady organizes workouts. Rodgers is hanging out in Hawaii. Like, we very often use non-statistical metrics to break ties to help guys' cases. So if Hub's point was, I thought Rodgers' offseason was a mess. I thought the fact that he missed the Chiefs game and that's why they lost, that was his own doing, at least partially. And all of that, if he wants to use that as part of the metric, I think that's fair. Just like, Colin, how about this? And I know NFL MVP, you only vote for one name, but let's say you voted for 5 names, 1 through 5, like an NBA ballot. If the Raiders win this weekend, and someone's like, you know what, I'm putting Derek Carr third. It's like, oh my God, you have Derek Carr ahead of Mahomes, look at the numbers. It's like, yeah, but the coach got fired in scandal. They lost a receiver in awful tragedy. They lost a safety to his own idiocy. He kept the team together. Those aren't metrics. That's the feel of what you do for the team. That's always happened with awards. Yeah. So I would still vote for Aaron Rodgers. But to act like we can't, that it has to just be what are the numbers, well, then have robots do it. So no, Rodgers is going to win the award going away. Yeah. I have no issue with what Hub said. I just don't think Rodgers, he clearly didn't hurt the team. They're the 1 seed and they have it all clinched. So I'd still vote for him.
I've said this before. Sometimes couples stay together for the kids until they get out of the house. They stay together. Yeah. And then there's moments when, like, we're not getting along, but now is the time to break up. And I look at Cleveland. Baker says he gets death threats. Certain players in this locker room are not into Baker. There's going to be guys out there you can vie for. I would consider moving off Baker. I think Baker's too toxic. The city now has turned on him. I do think he's a franchise quarterback when he's healthy. I do, and I think he deserves a second chance. And I do think Cleveland, upstairs, they don't buy in him. They don't really buy into Baker. Privately, they don't. You can see the game plans a lot. They don't. What do you do with Baker?
Well, I think sometimes, everyone is saying the same 3 names. Well, if you can get Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, or Deshaun Watson, you do, okay. Well, you're certainly not getting Russell Wilson. You are certainly not getting Aaron Rodgers. And the Deshaun Watson brings a totally different, much uglier set of baggage if he even can play. So take those names off it. Now we're talking about, you want to take a flyer on Tyler Huntley? You want to draft Kenny Pickett? Like, sometimes, dance with the one who brung you.
Yeah.
So I don't know that they have a ton of great other options. What I would say, though, is this, Colin. And I know you don't spend as much time on social media as myself or the wonderful Joy Taylor. But if you spend any time on it, you hear all these stories of bet on yourself. Oh, bet on yourself. Look at me. I was working for the man. Now I own my own business. Bet on yourself. Look at what I've done. And that's great and good. But it's a bit of a fallacy because you never hear about the bet on yourself, I'm now unemployed. Bet on yourself, I'm now divorced and despondent. Because no one tells those stories. Baker bet on himself and it blew up in his face. Because I would postulate this, Colin. If Baker would have taken the last contract offer the Browns made this offseason, I think he would have had the surgery he clearly and desperately needed, and we're not having any of this conversation. I think if he would have already had the contract when he gets hurt early in the year, the team makes him shut it down. He allows them to make him shut it down because they're invested in him long term. He's got his money locked up.
Yeah.
Then maybe he's back by week 9 healthy. Maybe the Browns then have another win or two and they're alive for the postseason this week. But he bet on himself, and now it absolutely is in play. Forget what's the next contract going to look like. It's in play that the next contract he's fighting for a job a la Ryan Tannehill, in Tennessee. Now, Tannehill ended up getting the job and getting the contract, but it also could go the Mitch Trubisky route. I don't think that's the way it'll go, but I think Baker, if he's being honest, regrets not taking whatever deal they offered him a few months ago.
Okay, now, on Tuesday, I do my herd hierarchy. On Wednesday, you have, it changes a lot. It's stratas. Okay, so what is your, what do you call it? The tiers. Okay, give me your tiers this morning, because I don't agree with this a lot. Let me see it.
Okay, well, our top two are the same. We both have Chiefs and Packers. I have them at the top. We can just reveal it. Here's the, pardon me, Colin, I apologize. Here's the gist of the tiers. I think we can show it. If not, I can just walk you through it verbally, audially. I think the Chiefs-Packers is the most clear-cut, obvious Super Bowl we've had in years and years and years. I don't think there is a close contender for third. I don't think there is a team nipping at the Chiefs' heels in the AFC. And given what has happened, Colin, to the Bucs with the injuries to the wide receivers and defense, with the Cowboys, to me, not playing anything close to their best football, Dak not looking great at all, McCarthy still having problems telling time, the injuries to J.J. Watt and DeAndre Hopkins that have clearly changed who Arizona is, and the inconsistency of Matt Stafford, I think the Packers, if the Packers don't make the Super Bowl this year, to me, it's an all-time gag job. So I think there's two teams left that I'm excited for the playoffs, but I know how it's ending. I would be shocked at a level I can't remember if it's not Chiefs-Packers at the end of the year.
All right. Well, we disagree on that. I think Buffalo's starting to get healthy. Buffalo's playing really well.
Man, Buffalo is like, I didn't know a young Colin Cowherd, but Buffalo is like the girl in high school that batted her eyes at you a couple times, and now every couple months you're telling your buddies, I think she's gonna say yes this week, and I think she's gonna go out. Colin, she's not that into you, and they're not that good. Did you watch Josh Allen this weekend? He had 0 touchdowns, 3 picks. He had a passer rating of 17. It was the worst game of his career. We're not talking about it because they beat Atlanta. You can't trust Josh Allen. Can't trust him. Telling you, I told you this last year.
I know.
Can't trust Josh Allen. Buffalo.
All right.
You just want to love Buffalo.
I do. There is a quality about them. They're my Shawshank Redemption. It doesn't matter whenever I turn in the movie. It could be 38 minutes in, an hour and a half. I just stay and watch the movie. I fall in love very quickly. Okay. LeBron James, there always is who are the best player in the league stuff. And we all know he's good. What do you make of his last 7, 8, 9, 10 games? What do you make since he's back from the injury? Where does he rank on that best player thing?
Listen, I think Giannis earned the crown. I think you earned the crown in the playoffs, and LeBron went out in round 1, and Giannis had one of the greatest NBA finals ever, culminating in a 50-point game. So I think Giannis deserves to be called the best player in basketball. I do not think there is another player in the league better than LeBron. That includes Steph, that includes KD. That certainly includes Jokic. And with respect to Giannis, Giannis is the only guy in the league, and I think you might agree with me on this, that if you were to say, I can have anybody I want for either one series or one game, that there's even a question that I would take above LeBron. Steph's been very, very good. He's cooled off a bit of late. Jokic, we know what he is. Obviously, Embiid's excellent. Obviously, KD's been sensational. None of those guys, to me, it's even an argument if you would rather have them or LeBron for a playoff series. Now, because of his age, there's the injury concern. There's the can you do it every single night the way Giannis has. In December, he did. In December, he averaged 31, 9, and 7 on 56% shooting. He's averaging the most points he's averaged in the season, Colin, since his final year in Cleveland the first time around. He's 0.7 away from leading the league in scoring. He's second to KD. Has the most 30-point games despite missing a dozen games. The previous best year 19, Colin, we'd ever seen was Kareem. Kareem averaged 16 a game that year. LeBron's at 29. And so I think I went into this year saying, listen, LeBron's probably the second, third, fourth best player in the league. And I think a lot of people thought I was crazy that he could keep it up. I think at worst, he's the second best player in the league. We've never seen anything like it.
Nick Wright, great seeing you. Like he bore a tie today on the show. He looks, you know what I mean? Like, even though you're...
I've been busy, been running around. I couldn't change. I usually get casual for you, Colin. I almost missed the hit. I'm all choked up. I ran in here just to talk to you. Enjoy, Taylor. Talk to you guys later. Goodbye.
All right, Nick Wright, first things first. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.